how to create amazing colourful designs in Photoshop using colour strip gradients. The example shows a combination of smart objects and filters and adjustments. Go to the rectangle tool in the toolbar, go to the top left and select Shape in the drop-down. Click on Fill to change to Gradient. Select one of the default gradient presets or perhaps one of your own. Fill the entire document with your rectangle shape. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using smart objects. They're very useful because you can change them at any point. A layer menu and smart objects and convert to smart object. Use the bounding box to resize the smart object. To create a thin strip, hold down the Shift key as you resize. Duplicate the smart object by holding down the Alt or Option key as you drag. Use the bounding box to resize the smart object and rotate by 180 degrees. Select both of the smart objects and then resize using the bounding box. I want to duplicate those smart objects, so hold down the Alt or Option key and drag. You can still resize the design. Remember always to hold down the Shift key. Select all of the objects. You can also convert all of those into a smart object. I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to duplicate those using the Alt or Option key and dragging. You can always change the gradient at any point, so if you're not happy with the current gradient, quickly change it. You can also go to the Filter menu and add effects, as well as go to the Image menu and add adjustments. The entire document is now filled with those colourful gradient strips. Go to the Layers panel and select all of those smart objects. Go to the Layer menu and Smart Objects and convert to Smart Object. The entire image is now a smart object. The great thing about smart objects, you can change them at any point. You can also add smart filters and adjustments. Go to Filter menu and Distort and Wave. The Wave panel will appear. Sadly, the preview is very small. There is also no on-screen live preview. Set the number of generators to a fairly small value. Set type to sine. Set the amplitude to low values. Set the wavelength values to fairly high. Set the scales to 100%. Set the undefined areas to wraparound. Once you're happy with your settings, click OK. You do not have to apply a filter just once. You can apply the wave filter multiple times. Change the settings or not. Click the Randomize button to randomize the wave. Click OK. You can repeat this multiple times. Again, use Randomize. You can create all kinds of subtle distortions using repeat applies of the wave. You can also use other filters, so Filter menu, Stylize and Oil Paint. Set the stylization and cleanliness to high. Click OK. Reapply the filter multiple times to create a very smeary image. The result of the oil paint filter does depend on the size of document. Go to the Filter menu and Filter Gallery and go to the category Stylize. Select the only filter, Glowing Edges. Set the edge width low, brightness medium, smoothness high. Click OK. Go to the Image menu and Adjustments and Vibrance. Set the values fairly high and click OK. As mentioned, you can change the smart objects at any point, so go back to the Layers panel, go to the Smart Object, and you'll see with the image, you will see at the bottom right a Smart Object thumbnail. Double-click the Smart Object's thumbnail to edit the contents. Go to one of the Smart Object thumbnails and double-click that. You are now back to the original gradient. Double-click the gradient in the Layers panel. The gradient panel will appear. Click on the gradient to bring up the Gradient Editor panel. You can now select a different gradient or change the stops. Click beneath the middle gradient bar to add additional stops. Double-click the gradient stops to change the colour or use the colour field. Click OK once you have edited your gradient. You can also change the style. Instead of using linear, change it to radial. Increase or decrease the scale. You can interactively move the gradient origin point around. Click on the document to reposition it. Click OK. Close all the PSB documents and save in them as you go until you reach the last document. Depending on your machine, it might take some time to update all the smart objects. If you like the design as it goes through all these saves, you can always go to File and Export and save that work. You will see quite a change from your original linear strip. If you're not happy, you can always re-edit the smart objects. Even though that smart object has quite a few smart filters, you can always add some more, such as oil paint. Go to Filter menu and Stylize and Oil Paint and set the stylization and cleanliness to high. Click OK. I will zoom in so you can see the design a little more clearly. The smart filters can always be removed if you don't want them, as well as edited at any point. You can also apply adjustments, so go to Image menu, Adjustments and Hue and Saturation. Or perhaps Colour Lookup. Go to one of the LUT file drop-downs, such as Abstract and Blue Tone, or Gold Blue. Experiment with them. Go to all of them in turn. Finally, I'm going to go for Sepia. Once you're happy with that, click OK. You can also add all of the work to a library. Just go to Window menu and Libraries and drag the smart object to the library. Or if you are finished with the smart object, go to Layer menu and Flatten Image. Of course, you can continue to apply additional filters such as oil paint, or save the work via the File menu. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. I'm always adding new tutorials all the time. There are thousands of other tutorials about Photoshop and Illustrator on the Graphic Extras channel. Please subscribe to the Graphic Extras channel. Please add a comment, a dislike or like. Thank you much.